And welcome to another edition of Travel Leaders Tri-Cities on News Talking 70 KFLD with your host, John McKay, the star of the show, Sondra. And we have already had a good time just in the few minutes of talking before we got things going. Let us know who our special guest is going to be today.
Well,
I guarantee you're going to enjoy this.
This is going to be fun. It's a little bit out of the box, and I got excited about it because there is a company that we're featuring for the month of March. It's one I absolutely love, and it's a company called Globus Family of Brands. They have 4 components, and we're going to talk today about one of the main components of this company. So first, they have a product called Avalon Waterways, which is river cruising. Not today. The second one is monograms, a way to have everything prepackaged but independent, prearranged travel. Not today.
Okay.
The third one is Cosmos, a more affordable way to do motor coach touring. Not today.
Okay.
The one we're going to do today is called Globus, and it's an escorted travel option by all kinds of different components, motor coach, rail, etc. So I'm going to introduce to you today a guy who is visiting the United States, and he is an experienced tour director for a Globus tour company, and he's going to talk to us about what it's like to actually do one of these. So hello, Ben.
Hello there. This is Benjamin.
Hello, Benjamin. You know, I can tell right away that if somebody signs up and finds out that you're their tour director, they're going to have quite the amazing travel experience.
And I'm really sure that some of the listeners might recognize my voice if they did a tour with me before.
Oh, you think?
I'm sure, because I've got a lot of clients from over there. I'm doing this now for about 20 years, so you can imagine 20 years taking guests around Europe.
Well, tell me the kind of thing that happens on a Globus tour.
Well, the thing is that what I do is the panorama tours. These are multi-country tours. And to start those, you need to fly into one of the major cities in Europe, like Amsterdam, London, or Paris. And from there are different options to visit Europe on different schedules. See, that's what I do. In my case, I'm doing all the different kinds of panorama tours, the shorter ones as well as the longer ones. See? We call them multiple country tours.
That's the one.
Sort of.
I was going to say, from long ago, that's the one that says if it's Tuesday, you're in Belgium.
Okay, yeah. Well, the thing is that often clients forget what day it is or what country they're in. You know, often there are tiny little countries like Liechtenstein. We just go through it in 2 hours. So if they doze off, they have a nap on the coach, they miss a country.
That's small.
It is.
I
have actually been to Liechtenstein, and you're right. It's if you blink, if you blink, you're through it. That's true.
It is. It's one shopping street, and that's it. You know, before you know you're through it.
So, when I send my customer from Travel Leaders to Globus, and you end up being their tour director, how do you make sure that they have the best, most amazing experience?
Well, let me start introducing the company, Globus.
Do that.
It is the oldest tour operator in Europe. It's the first company that ever had the idea to take clients around Europe and offer these multi-country tours. We started in 1928. And you have to know that before the war, traveling through Europe was very exclusive. That was only the aristocracy, the old Europeans who could afford. After the war, we saw that the middle class, wherever in the world, was growing, and we created a sister company called Cosmos. But also Globus became more available for everyone, you know.
Okay.
And of course, we developed many different products like Cosmos monograms, Globus, so that everybody can choose one of these products. Why Globus? Well, I would say because of the experience we have, more than 85 years, and that means that we have the best deals with our suppliers.
Right.
Like if we go to Paris to the Moulin Rouge, if you travel with Globus, you get front stage seats. Now, these are only limited number of seats in a theater like that. And Globus has the best deals because the contract with the Moulin is already signed in the 1930s. You know?
Oh.
And I believe that is the strength of Globus as a company, that we have long-lasting relationships with our suppliers. whether that is a theater, a hotel, or a restaurant, they know us for all these decades. And so we get very good deals, which is good for the clients.
Right.
Wow.
Totally. Yes, obviously that's true. And so Globus has these relationships. If somebody does a Globus tour, though, they're flipping through the brochure and they're looking at what is available, and they're picking the tour that they want, and it is already a pre-planned trip for them.
Yes. Well, let's put it like this. We have a framework for each tour. Of course, the client needs to know, first of all, how many days he's available to do a tour. There are tours of 1 week, 2 weeks, up till 4 weeks and a half, covering 14 countries.
Wow.
You know? So it's from 1 week up till 4 weeks and a half. These are the options. The panorama tours are about 16 of them, different ones. And the client can choose out of this whole variety of tours what is the most appropriate for him. Then on these tours, we supply the framework of transport, a tour guide, the driver, the restaurant. But within that framework, the client does have some free time that he can do things on his own, do shopping, or join another trip to a castle or to another nice venue nearby. See, so there is a framework. Within that framework, client can still make choices of how he spends his time over there.
And so they come into a city and they are met and taken to their hotel, and that's when they meet the rest of their group people, and they meet you.
Exactly. That is, in fact, it goes like this practically. These first hotels are hotels where we have our own welcome desk, where we have our own seminar rooms, where clients get a welcome meeting. And they get all the instructions and the documents, and we go through the details of the program. And then we usually have a welcome dinner in a local restaurant to break the ice, to see our fellow travelers, and because after all, we're going to travel as a group. And people, first they think, traveling in a group is not that nice. Well, the experience is that everybody loves it at the end, that to travel in a group, to meet new friends, and many times at the end of a tour there are some tears to say goodbye to each other, and many clients stay in touch with each other for years after.
So people that are on your tour, Ben, they may or may not have done a tour before. They're not all first timers, right?
No. Well, statistically, with Globus at least, we have 85% repeaters.
Wow.
That means if anybody has ever traveled with Globus, there is 85% chance I'm going to see them again because it's addictive. They love it, they like it, and they're back.
Well, it's easy for them. They have you to go along and hold their hand and show them everything that they're going to see. But you're not the local person, are you?
No.
How does that work?
The thing is, practically, we're allowed to go through all these countries. It has to do with licenses and permits. We're allowed to go through all the European countries, but for example, certain venues like the Vatican Museum or the Louvre, there we need local guides because nobody else is allowed to guide in there, in these venues.
Okay.
But even there, the tour director stays with the group at all times, day and night. See? So even if we use a local guide, the tour director stays with the group to do the trip.
Okay.
You know? Yes, all the time. So basically, they stay with me the moment they arrive in London or Paris, wherever, till we put them back on the plane.
Wow. So you do get to know these people really well.
That is a thing. That is a thing. We call it group dynamics. But what is happening, it starts like strangers or foreigners, whatever, and we end up like friends, in the worst case, family.
I believe that because as you're going along, you are their contact for everything.
It is. Absolutely. It is the link with the company for any kind of problem. Often you have tiny little things like, they can't get in touch with their Aunt Audrey because it's her birthday, whatever, with telephone calls, everything. You're there. You're always available. They know where you are, and all the time. Most of the time, you're busy anyway with them. We do a lot of excursions, a lot of trips from morning till evening. It is an escorted tour. I mean, it's not a beach holiday. We try to show them as much as we can.
Right.
And there's a lot to show in Europe. Yeah, there's so many things to see in Europe. That's why I said often we have clients that when they're a bit tired, okay, they can stay behind and they skip the visit of a church or a palace, and then we see them again after that trip. It's the choice to do it or not. But if they do the program, then most of the time they stay with me. We stay
of
together.
course. Well, that would be a shame.
So the dinners, what we do, we have these wonderful dinners in local restaurants where we hire some musicians, we have some dancers coming in. I mean, we try to make it an experience because after all, I always say, you can look at the Eiffel Tower, take a picture, and that's a holiday picture, nothing more. But what we do, we put them on a boat on the water with a glass of champagne, looking at the Eiffel Tower with some local accordion music. That is another experience to see the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, my.
Yes, for sure.
That is what we call the icing on the cake, to make the picture come alive and to make it an experience. And when they look back at the picture of the Eiffel Tower, the experience will come back. They will have the same feeling than when they sat there on that boat under the Eiffel Tower, looking at it with a glass of pink champagne in their hand. That is a difference.
Well, you're painting a picture of a wonderful experience.
Yes.
And if you go on your own, yes, exactly, Ben. And if you go on your own, you're going to miss that experience.
That is exactly what I try to show, to point out. But okay, you're there to complete the picture.
Right.
The framework is there, but somebody has to fill in the colors. You can look at the Mona Lisa. Well, let me be honest, it's a boring painting. Unless somebody tells you, unless somebody comes to tell you what is so unique about it, what is so unusual about Da Vinci, then you see it with different eyes. You say, ooh, there's something interesting about that thing. I thought it was a boring thing.
You're very right about the Mona Lisa.
It is.
I know. You're right. So
many of these clients, they arrive there, and they say, oh my God, that's it.
Yes. So you do a lot of things that are prearranged. So, for instance, when you go to the Vatican, you're not standing in that 2-hour line, are you?
That is another thing. We pay a lot of money, but there's all part of the deal we have with the clients. We pay a lot of money to get into the priority lane. We don't want them to wait for 5 minutes. And you mentioned there, a terrible thing, the Vatican Museum is a big issue to get in there. The line for individuals is 7 hours average.
Oh my gosh.
7 hours
kidding.
For a ticket to get in the next day.
Oh my gosh. So what do you do? What do you do with your customer?
What we do, we drop them off in a special spot at a few hundred meters from the entrance. And then they go in, they stand in line, and we go in 1 hour before opening time. The Vatican opens at 9 for the public. We go in at 8 o'clock. 5 to 8 we arrive there, and 8 o'clock we're in the Vatican. No waiting, nothing, and it's still quiet because the general public is not yet in the Vatican while we do the tour.
So I'm sitting here with my mouth open, and on radio you can't really see that. So I'm absolutely wowed. Are you telling me that people get to go into the Sistine Chapel without standing around with hundreds of people around them? I'm blown away by that.
Exactly, and even before the crowd is there, because we go in an hour before everyone else. We do the Vatican Museum, the Sistine Chapel, and then on top of it, we come out of St. Peter's Basilica via a staircase that leads to the Basilica. And so we do the whole Vatican thing in the morning, because it's well prepared and organized.
I'm speechless and blown away. If people are out there listening... Ben, you have painted the most amazing picture of why in the world you would want to go on a Globus escorted tour. Hang in there. We're going to take a break, and I'll be right back with my buddy Ben.
Right here on News Talk 870.
Great. See you soon.
We're back on Travel Leaders Tri-Cities on News Talk 870 with your host, John McKay, and Sondra and Benjamin. And I was absolutely floored by the fact that the average person has to stand in line for 7 hours just to get a ticket. And we're talking about getting into places ahead of people. Let's jump right back in.
Unbelievable what you told me about the Sistine Chapel in St. Peter's. It's like this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for people to be able to go to Vatican City and for you to be able to offer somebody that kind of experience. Tell me what makes Globus so incredible. You've worked for them for a long time.
20 years now. For 20 years we're in the business now, and that has been changing. And the thing is, you know that it's getting worse every year because more and more people are able to travel. So you will just mention the Vatican, but don't think there's also the Louvre, there is the Versailles Museum, Schönbrunn in Vienna, there is in Budapest so many venues where we have exactly the same deal like the Vatican. For going up the Eiffel Tower, very important. There's a huge line over there to get up there, and it's included in our program, going up the Eiffel Tower with pre-booked tickets at the priority lane. But let me tell you what is different for us with Globus. We try to satisfy our customers, which are changing all the time. For example, on our coaches, we eliminated about 12 seats to give more space to the travelers. So we reduce the number of seats to have more space on the coach. We were the first company to do that. You know, the maximum number on a big coach, a double X coach, is now 40. It used to be 54.
Oh, interesting.
That is reduced to 40. So that means that everybody has, like in business class in a plane, more legroom, 40 centimeters.
Oh.
Half a meter more.
That is a big deal.
A happier customer.
Yes. Another thing that changed our life as a computers, people wanted to have Wi-Fi. Now in Europe, that is not like in America, I've noticed. That is a struggle because there are all these different countries with different companies.
Right.
We were the first company that offered free Wi-Fi on the coach.
Interesting.
Going through these different countries, working with different routers, of course, with different companies, but clients were able, whilst traveling, to stay in touch with their relatives, even send some pictures while they were en route.
That's right. They're uploading to Facebook. That's interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. And
we were the first company introducing, as it's mentioned in the brochure, the local favorite. And that means clients want to see the tourist spots, the Eiffel Tower, the Vatican, these major spots that everybody knows. But they also want to know, how do the locals live? How, if I could look behind the curtain, that would be lovely. And we try to do that, trying to have the behind-the-curtain experience, we call it. Like, for example, in Switzerland, we go there to an old cheese farm, the Gruyere cheese farm. And literally, with the locals, we have a picnic in the garden with the locals. We have a tour with the horses in the fields in Switzerland. It's really, and how would I call it, a very local experience.
Which they would never have any other way.
Wow.
That is so great.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Clients like to see that. In Italy, we go to a tiny little market in Ferrara. There's nowhere mentioned. Nobody knows what Ferrara is. They love it, the clients. And they say, oh, my God, this was the highlight of the tour, because nobody goes there, and clients want to see how locals live, how the real Italian lives,
They absolutely do.
So we try to include that in our program. Apart from the highlights, we have that behind-the-curtain experience now.
That's so important, I think, because you come home and you go, yeah, there's the Eiffel Tower. No, I never spoke to a French person. No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. This is really great that you do that. And you wouldn't have that kind of experience without doing a Globus tour. And it's not all motor coach, is it? You use some train.
That's another point. To avoid long driving days, to go from one point to the other, we were the first ones that started using the fast trains in Europe. For example, from London to the continent, before the fast train, you had to go by coach and then on the boat,
right,
and then again on the coach to get to Paris. Now, in 2 hours and 20, from the city center of London, we're in the city center of Paris, and we still have a whole day to do Paris.
Wow.
By using the Eurostar. And we do almost all the tours, all these panorama tours that start in London use the Eurostar. It's a fast train that is going under the water, under the channel, that is connecting Britain with the continent. But even in France, we use the fast train to go from the Côte d'Azur, from Monaco, to Paris. We leave in Monaco or in Nice, Côte d'Azur, at 7, 8 in the morning. At 1:15, we're already in the Louvre.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's really interesting because
miles.
for Pete, I was going to say that is a long distance. You said 800 miles, and I believe that. That is a long ways.
It's an extra holiday. It's an extra day because if you spend that time on the coach, you can't do anything.
No.
You know? It's 12, 14-hour drive. And by using the fast trains, which we do wherever it's possible, we add on an extra holiday day.
That is great. So you really are using all of the time to the best possible way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if they travel so far, they do want to see things, you know. They want to make the maximum of their stay. It's a reality. People just, it is true. They have to fly in from America. Often we have clients from Australia. And you come from so far. Well, you want to make the best of it.
I took a tour with Globus, and I love the fact that you had Australians in my group because they are party animals.
You know they are.
I do know. They never stop, and they're the ones that sign up for the 4.5-week tours also.
It is New Zealanders as well.
Yes,
They're also
absolutely.
fun.
Tell me where you're from.
Yeah. What is it?
Where are you from, Ben?
I'm Belgian. I'm from Brussels.
Oh, that's a beautiful, gorgeous place.
Oh, you know it. Because I
yeah.
was here in San Francisco, and two people asked me, where is that? I said, it's a country in Europe.
Seriously, they didn't know where it was? That makes me laugh.
You had no idea what I was talking about.
Oh, my God, that's funny. Hopefully those were not travel agents that said that to you.
Yeah. No, I'm from Belgium, Brussels, which is very convenient for me because I have to pick up the clients or meet the group in these capitals, which are very easy accessible from Brussels.
That's the thing.
I'm
I mean,
1 hour in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I've told people before, once you get over to Europe, it's very easy to get from one place to the next. Have you seen a change? Because the dollar is so affordable now over there. So
Yes.
money is going so much farther for everybody than it did before.
Thank God your dollar gets better. Thank God for us, too.
Yes, absolutely. I have to say, absolutely. So do you, on your tours, build in free time for people to just go off on their own a little bit and experience the town? I'm a shopper. I mean, I think I would die if you made me go to Paris and not go in a store.
It goes like this, Sondra. 2 nights in the same city, then usually the city tours are always included with Globus. So in the morning we do the city tour, and in the afternoon there is free time, or they have a choice of some optional tours to go to a palace, to go to a venue. But that is the choice of the guest. If they say we do shopping, we send them to the right spot to do their shopping.
Right.
So the morning usually is a program included as the city tours or any kind of palace or thing to visit. In the afternoon, you have the choice.
Is there a better time to go to Europe, Ben, than another? I mean, I encourage people to go in spring and fall because it's maybe not quite as crazy. Do you see that as well?
I agree, but what is happening that you're not the only one that knows it. Now half of the world knows.
Yeah, my secret is out.
So keep it quiet. Don't tell anyone that indeed springtime and autumn time is temperature-wise, weather-wise, the best. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Particularly if you start covering the southern countries like Italy or Spain, you need to know that it can be warm. Of course, the coaches, the hotels, everything has air conditioning. But nevertheless, if you go out and have a walk in Rome in July, be ready that it's going to be warm. Obviously.
Yes, I agree with that. Is there an age group, or is it all over the map? Are you doing families on buses?
You know what? What was happening with our company is that, strange enough, the average age of our customers are going down and down and down. I believe it has to do with the fact that we became more affordable for everyone, okay? Because we have very good deals and the packages are fantastic if you look at it, what they get for their money. They cannot do this on their own for that money. It's impossible.
I agree.
If I tell a European what we do for the price that you pay, they don't believe it. But we do it because we buy in bulk, And so you see that nowadays you can have families with kids as well as an elderly couple traveling with us. Everyone can do a tour.
And do they everybody seems to merge. It doesn't matter what your age is. Everybody seems to get along great and have fun.
Absolutely. And you would be surprised how quickly they blend in the group. Even if you have 2 or 3 kids, they're very quickly the mascots of the group all day. Everybody takes care of everybody.
Well, I'm ready to go. I want to go right now.
Waiting for you.
You're going to wait for me? I have to say, I could go right now. I have to put in a plug with Travel Leaders. This is the month that you would want to come into our locations and book a Globus motor coach tour, an Avalon River trip, a Monograms tour. Our agents are really up to snuff on all this stuff, and we have a lot of specials that we can offer this month. Things like lower air credits. I know this isn't your thing and you don't care about it, Ben, but my listeners would want to know to go to Europe is not too late to book for the season, which is coming up really soon, spring, summer, fall. And you do want to take advantage of lower air rates that are in effect right now. We have some exclusive Travel Leaders discounts, cash offers that we can give to you, early booking discounts, next year discounts, everything you can think of. So I really want to encourage you to come into Travel Leaders today and talk to us about taking one of these wonderful things. You're great. Can I physically sign up to be on your coach? I want to be with you.
I will be waiting for you all. Travel Leaders, send them all over. We're here.
Okay, I'm gonna plan that you're gonna do that. And
okay.
I think you've been a lot of fun today. I think that you have done a perfect job trying to explain to us what is it like. And the one thing I want to point out to everybody was the point you just made, which is there is no way financially that anybody could do the trip you're offering through Globus on their own. Prepaid hotels, the motor coach, the transportation, the meals, the interface with the local people, the skip the line stuff, every single thing that you've mentioned, you have managed to package the experience. And that is what we sell at Travel Leaders. We are so passionate about selling the travel experience. We want our customers to go, love it, come back and want to go again. And I can tell from talking to you, Ben, you have the same passion for life that I do.
Yeah, I have to say, even my colleagues, we're all very passionate about what we do. The most important thing for us is that we care about the passengers. That's a big difference with taking care of. Taking care of is technical. We care about our passengers. We want to meet them and see them as friends.
I agree. So you promise me when I come over, you'll be waiting for me.
We're going to have a glass of champagne together.
On the Seine, looking at the Eiffel Tower.
On the boat with the Eiffel Tower illuminated the Millennium Show.
I love you forever. Thanks for being on with me today. And if there are people out there that didn't enjoy this, then I'm sorry for them, because this was really a lot. This was a lot of fun, and good travels to you in the United States.
Thank you, Sondra. Thank you. Bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye, Ben.
Bye.
Oh, my. That was enjoyable.
Wasn't that fun?
Yes,
oh, my gosh.
Was. Wow. I especially like the part about, peeking behind the curtain. So,
yes.
What are you waiting for? Call Travel Leaders and get it moving. This
is your year. The dollar's never been better. You've got to call us and book it, because you could have Ben all to yourself. What fun.
Yes. Until next time, we hope you'll join us again for another trip around the world, places you need to go and see with Travel Leaders Tri-Cities, right here on News Talk 870.